Okay, and quality control and troubleshooting. So these are two-cylinder engines, so you actually have to make sure that both of the engines are firing. So a good procedure is to, when you crank the engine, just take off the spark plug cover and kind of like touch them close to each other so you can see basically if the spark exists. So put them within, actually you have to take off this rubber shoe and put them in close contact so you can actually visually see the spark. Make sure you've got spark on both engine sides. So this is one side and the other, because it's a two-cylinder engine. Here's the other spark plug. That's, see, because at times you can actually get the engine to start and only one cylinder could be firing. So make sure you check that before using, and you'll notice that it will have less power if it's only one side is firing. So sometimes the spark will exist, and we actually had one engine break in this way where one piston, whatever happened inside there, this one side was not firing. And how you can check it is if you put your hand next to it, it will not be hot. It'll be just basically blowing air. So check for that, just for troubleshooting. But also it's a good idea to just make sure that you've got heat coming out of each muffler. Here, this muffler is pointing this way, so yeah, just make sure both of them are getting hot, and you don't want to touch it, but you'll know when it's getting hot. Another item that you might want to look out for, even if you have spark, make sure you have both pistons working. In one case, we've actually seen where whatever was inside the cylinder just broke, whatever, the connecting rod or whatever, such that one was not only not firing, but it was also not pushing any air. That means it's like when you put your hand in front of it, and there was not even air being pumped in and out. So that meant a deeper problem where actually the cylinder piston inside the piston or whatever broke in a deep way. So that's a thing to watch out for as well upon quality control. All right. As far as the starter, make sure that the starter cables are connected tight to the starter, and use thick cables so they don't burn out. That's for the starter. Make sure you have a throttle control that you can control the throttle in and out. Here, that's our simple throttle, which we actually got to replace with a linear one. The push type we found don't work well for the throttle. That's our throttle. You can just see it from the other side. So this is a pull type. Just one of these round throttle cables. Don't recommend those. Just use the standard one with like a lever that moves back and forth. What else? This is the main points on the fuel tank. So fuel tank, be very careful with that. Make sure that your inlet, this is your filler cap, is away from any source of heat. Like actually for easier filling, in the next versions we're going to have the filling cap come in from the side, so you can come in from the side as opposed to from the top. Because of this power cube we're on the bottom, it's hard to access the filler. Like here, for this one, it's rather hard. You have to use a funnel and stick a funnel through there to fill up the fuel tank. So next versions we're going to mount the fuel cap off to the side so you can access it readily. And the filler cap should be, make sure it's placed away from heat sources, like here. The muffler, you don't want to have the filler cap going towards the muffler. You might want to have it going away from it. That's not the case here. Okay, further quality control. Make sure absolutely no leaks on a fuel tank, so any moisture around the fuel tank should be remedied readily. You can also see on a fuel filter. Here's the fuel filter. Actually, I don't see gasoline in there, but upon the tank being filled, the fuel filter should be filled up. And that's about it.